I think I have to continue from this page, right? If I'm not wrong. Sorry. Yes, here it is. That the man who was lying there in front of him, of course, the wounded soldier, in his state of being unconscious. Unconsciously, he was lying and he was moaning. Moaning meaning he was crying in pain. In his dream, the man moaned. In his dream, of course, he was not dreaming, but the writer means to say he was unconscious. So in his dream is that state of being unconscious. He was unconscious, but he was crying in pain. But Sadao, he just ignored, he did not pay any attention to this. And he was just whispering. He said, groan, groan if you like. Groan meaning cry in pain, keep crying in pain. I'm not doing this for my own pleasure. Now here you see that what is the conflict going on in his mind? That is Dr. Sadao. On the one hand, he wants to help him because he is a patient, because he is a human. But at the same time, he is frustrated. When he is crying in pain, he has no sympathetic attitude towards him. He has no sympathy for him. That's why he says, I'm not doing this for my own pleasure. I'm not doing it willingly. So why are you doing it? Because my duty has compelled me to do it. This is the human call. This is the call of duty that has actually compelled him to help him and to operate upon him. In fact, I do not know why I am doing it. He says he doesn't understand why he's doing it. What does he mean to say? Now, in this whole dialogue, in this whole speech, groan if you like, this expresses his unsympathetic attitude towards the wounded soldier. I am not doing this for my own pleasure. He is frustrated because he is not willing to do it, yet he is doing it. Not because he wants it. It is because of his duty that demands him to help a wounded soldier, whatever the nationality he has. I do not know why I am doing it. I do not know why I am doing it. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand, meaning he knows he is an enemy, yet he is doing it. So he is unable to understand, but actually he knows because as a doctor, it is his duty. I hope this is clear because this is very important for comprehension. Okay. Yes. Would you read from here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
The door opened and there was Hana again.
Yes.
Where is the anesthetic? She asked in a clear voice. Sadao motioned with his chin. It is as well that you came back, he said. This fellow is beginning to stir. She had the bottle and
just a minute. He had told Hana for helping in giving anesthetic, and she was little reluctant because she didn't know how to do it, how to administer the anesthetic, right? So anyway, she comes back and she asks for it. And Sadao, he just does not say anything. He simply signals. And he says, it is as well that you came back. He says, good that Hana, you have come back because the man is beginning to stir. Man is beginning to stir, meaning he is regaining consciousness. And if he regains consciousness, he is not given anesthesia, then the surgery cannot be carried out on him. Right? Yes. Carry on.
She had the bottle and some cotton in her hand, but how shall I do it? She asked. Simply saturate the cotton and hold it near his nostrils. Sadao replied without delaying for one moment. The intricate detail of his work when he breathes badly, move it away a little.
Yes, he simply guides her. He simply gives her instructions how to give anesthesia to her. He gets that medicine, which has to be given some substance, right? And he told her to simply saturate the cotton. Saturate the cotton, wet the cotton. The cotton be dipped in that substance. And then this cotton has to be held near his two nostrils. He also instructs her that if she finds that he was breathing badly, then she should keep those two cotton swabs a little bit away. But otherwise, he continues concentrating on his own process and procedure that he had to carry out for surgery. Yes, carry on, please.
She crouched close to the sleeping face of the young American. It was a piteously thin face, she thought, and the lips were twisted. The man was suffering with whether he knew it or not. Watching him, she wondered if the stories they heard sometimes of the sufferings of prisoners were true. They came like flickers of rumor told by word of mouth and always contradicted in the newspapers. The reports were always that
Wait here, Manish. She crouched, she bent down, and she sat, she almost squatted. She sat down close to the face of the young man. It was a piteously thin face. It was a piteously thin face. This statement suggests what? Hannah's being sympathetic to the man. Now, Dr. Sadao, he was giving treatment to him, but he was not sympathetic because he knew that he was an American enemy. Hannah also knew he was an American enemy, but Hannah still had some sympathy. She looked at him, she found her lips twisted, and she had sympathy for the man. Why? Because as a prisoner of war, he was suffering. He was suffering, right? But she was not sure whether the man knew that he was suffering or not. Why? Because he was unconscious, right? Then she remembers the stories. She remembers that she had heard number of stories where the people say that the prisoner of wars, they have to suffer a lot. And now when she looks at this prisoner of war, this wounded soldier, then she realizes that those stories were true. They came like flickers of rumor. She said that when she heard the stories, they appeared to be as rumors, that the people are simply spreading rumors. There is no reality in this. But now she realizes, no, it's true. Told by word of mouth, told by the people. The people would tell the stories of the prisoner of wars, how they suffer. That time, these stories appeared to be fake, just rumors. But now she realizes that no, they must be true, because she had seen this prisoner of war suffering in front of her. Yes, carry on.
wherever the Japanese armies went, the people received them gladly with cries of joy at their liberation. But sometimes she remembered such men as General Takima, who at home beat his wife cruelly, though no one mentioned it now that he had fought so victorious a battle in Manchuria. If a man like that could be so cruel to a woman in his power, would be not be cruel to one like this, for instance.
Yes, wait.
She hoped anxiously
wait, child, wait, please. Now, she said that she had read in the newspaper many a times that the Japanese army, wherever they went in the country, they are always welcomed. They are always received with great applause and appreciation for their victories, for their freedom they have achieved to the country. But at the same time, she also remembers one General Takima. General Takima, who was very brave. She had heard a number of stories of this General Takima, that he had brought victory to Japan in a battle in Manchuria. Manchuria is northeastern part of China, right? But she said that this General Takima, this is also the fact that he had been very harsh, very cruel to his wife. He had been beating her. He had been very merciless to her. So what made her think, what Hannah was thinking, that the man who had been so harsh and so merciless and brutal to his wife, so he must be many times more brutal to the prisoner of wars in the war. So that makes her conclude that yes, prisoner of wars, they suffer a lot. They suffer being tortured at the hands of the enemies if they fall into their hands. Right? Yes, carry on.
She hoped anxiously that his young man had not been tortured. It was at this moment that
She observed.
deep red scars on his neck just under the ear. Those scars, she murmured, lifting her eyes to Sadao, but he did not answer. At this moment, he felt the tip of his instrument strike against something hard, dangerously near the kidney. Although left him, he left felt only the purest pleasure. He probed with his fingers delicately, familiar with every atom of this human body. His old American professor of anatom- anatomy had seen that knowledge, ignorance of the human body is the surgeon's cardinal sin. Sirs, he had thundered at his classes year after year to operate without as complete of the as if you had made it anything less than that is murder.
Ah, yes, wait here. Now, what here it is? She had noticed one scar under his ear. She tried to draw the attention of Dr. Sadao, but Dr. Sadao did not pay any attention because he was focusing on his surgery. While he had been first and foremost important thing was to find out the bullet that was shot, that was deep in the body. So he appeared to be little satisfied and happy. Why? Because his fingers that had been exploring, that had been searching the bullet, they had found. Because the instrument he was carrying, it had hit with something that was hard, and that hard was nothing else than the bullet. It was near the kidney. So thankfully, it was not in the kidney, but around it. So in this way, soldier was saved. All thought left him. All thought left him, meaning he did not think of anything else except completing this surgery, except focusing on this surgery. And he found the purest pleasure. He was very happy. Why? Because his mission appeared to be fulfilled as he had been hunting for the bullet that had gone deep inside. He knew that once the bullet is removed, there would be a lot of loss of blood, but then the wound can be treated and it can be healed. So he probed with his fingers, he searched with his fingers very carefully, familiar with every atom of this human body. He was familiar with even the tiniest part of the human body. He was a surgeon. And then he remembered what his American professor of anatomy had taught them. Anatomy is the study of human body. So in this anatomy class, the American professor, he used to tell his students, ignorance of the human body is the surgeon's cardinal sin, sirs. With sirs, he was referring to the students. What he means to say in this very statement, that for the medical surgeons, it's very important to know the human body. If they have ignorance, meaning if they have no knowledge of the human body, then it would be a basic sin, the biggest sin they would be making. He had thundered at his classes year after year. He had repeated this very fact in his every class many a times so that the students of surgery, they understand the human body completely. to operate without as complete knowledge of the body as if you had made it. Anything less than that is murder. He says if a surgeon is conducting surgery without any knowledge of the human body, then it would not be considered a surgery, it would be considered a murder. Why? Because that surgeon would not be able to do the surgery, would not be able to conduct the surgery successfully and smoothly. And once you have made cut on the body, what is it? It is just like murdering. So what he used to say emphatically, that it is very important to know the human body. And Dr. Sadao was expert at this. He followed what his professor had taught. As a result, he could carry out the surgeries very successfully. There can be a question on this, that how do you know that Dr. Sadao was a skillful surgeon, right? So you would say that he had learned from his American professor, this very incident. You can also give an example that how in the Second World War, he was not permitted to go with the troops because the old general was in poor condition. So he needed his surgery anytime, right? Yes, carry on, please.
It is not quite at the kidney. My friend Sadao murmured it was his habit to murmur to the patient when he forgot himself in an operation. My friend, he always called his patients, and so now he did, forgetting that this was his enemy.
Yes, it was his habit that while he was doing surgery, he would refer to the patient as my friend, my friend. He would just converse to the patient, right? It was his habit. So this is basically what the doctors do. That's how they get completely engrossed in their work, and they just try to relieve themselves of tiredness, right? And here also, even though the patient was not an ordinary patient, this was an American enemy, yet as per his usual affair and habit, he had been addressing him as my friend. Because at that time, so it is very much clear from here that he never thought of him at that time while he was sorry, he was carrying out the surgery. He never thought of him as an American enemy. He thought of him as a patient only. Yes, carry on, please.
Then quickly, with the cleanest of most precise of incisions, the bullet was out. The man quivered, but he was still unconscious. Nevertheless, he muttered a few English words. Guts, he muttered, choking. They got my guts. Sadao, Hana cried sharply. Hush, Sadao said. The man sank again into silence, so profound that Sadao took up his wrist, hating the touch of it. Yes, there was still a pulse, so faint, so feeble, but enough. If he wanted the man to live, to give hope. But certainly I do not want this man to live, he thought. No more anesthetic, he told Hana.
Yes, wait here. Now what he did, he then quickly he cleaned it and he made some cuts on his wound, and the bullet was taken out. When the bullet was taken out, there was a lot of bleeding. The man, however, unconscious, but he trembled. In his state of being unconscious, he was uttering a few words like guts. Guts meaning brave, meaning he was trying to say that he was brave, he was courageous. That's why his enemies, they could not defeat him, right? And then when he said, "Gods, they got my gods," then Hana, she cried to Sadao, but Sadao just silenced her. And soon after that, what they found, that the man who had been crying in his unconsciousness, guts, the man had turned silent completely. So Dr. Sarao, he was little doubtful. That's why, even though he did not like to touch him, but yet he checked his pulse. He found it was weak, it was faint, but the man was alive, and he was very hopeful that he could survive. But at the same time, he said, but certainly I do not want this man to live. He helped him to survive, but at the same time, he says, I do not want this man to live. Why he says, I do not want this man to live? Because he knows that he is an American enemy. The moment he realizes he is an American enemy, he says he does not want him to survive. The moment he forgets it and he thinks of him simply as a patient, then of course he leaves no stones unturned to help him, to cure him, to heal him. Right? Yes. Now,
It was
uh-huh.
swiftly as though he had never paused,
Yes.
and from his medicines he chose a small vial and from it filled a hypodermic and thrust it into the patient's left arm. Then putting down the needle, he took the man's wrist again. The pulse under his fingers fluttered once or twice and then grew stronger. The man will live in spite of all, he said to Hannah and sighed. The young man,
Yes. And soon after that, what happened? He was sure that the man would survive. Again, he injected some medicine. He chose a small vial. Vial is a small bottle of medicine. From it, he filled a hypodermic. Hypodermic is the syringe. He filled the syringe with the medicine from the vial and he injected the patient. And then he put it aside. Again, he checked his pulse, right? It was little flexible, but it was okay. So he was sure that the man would survive. That's why he says, this man will live in spite of all. Meaning he is not going to die, he would survive. The young man woke so weak, his blue eyes so terrified, when he perceived where he was, that Hannah felt compelled to apologize. The next day, he woke up. He was terrified to find himself where he was. Till then, he was unconscious. That means now he has regained consciousness. When Hannah saw, Hannah felt that she should apologize to him because of this condition. Why? Because this condition has been done by Japanese army since he was an enemy. She herself served him, for none of the servants would enter the room. She was attending to his needs because the servants had refused to enter the room where the enemy was. Right? When she came in the first time, she saw him summon his small strength to be prepared for some fearful thing. She came, when first she came, what she found, that the man was summoning his small strength, meaning he was trying to gather the courage. He was trying to gather the courage, but he was trying to wake up. He was trying to move, but at the same time, he was afraid. Don't be afraid, she begged him softly. But she would tell him not to worry, not to be feared. How come you speak English? He gasped. He was surprised that this is a Japanese place, a Japanese home, Japanese couple, and the lady was speaking in English. I was a long time in America, she replied. She told him that she knows English because she had been in America for a long time. She saw that he wanted to reply to that, but he could not. And so she knelt and fed him gently from the porcelain spoon. He ate unwillingly, but still he ate. Man wanted to give reply, but he couldn't because he was very weak. Anyway, she just fed him with the food with the help of spoon. Man didn't want to eat, yet he ate because he had to recover. Now you will soon be strong, she said, not liking him, yet moved to comfort him. Now you see that the same behavior of and the same treatment of Hannah also there. Hannah also does not like him. He is an enemy. Yet she is helping him. Yet she is telling him not to worry. She is feeding him. How she is motivating him, telling him that you will soon be strong, you will soon recover. At the same time, she does not like him. He did not answer. When Sadao came in the third day after the operation, he found the young man sitting up, his face bloodless with the effort. Bloodless, weak. His face was pale, weak, even after the third day of operation. Lie down, Sadao cried. Do you want to die? What is it? This is not a doctor now. This is the two enemies. This is a Japanese enemy. Lie down, he cried. As a patient, as a doctor, he had been very soft. But now, after the third day of operation, he looks at them, he finds him as American enemy. He says, lie down. Do you want to die? He forced the man down gently and strongly and examined the wound. He forced him to lie down and then he checked his wound. You may kill yourself if you do this sort of thing, he scolded. Then he snubbed him that don't make an effort to move. You will kill yourself, meaning you will not recover otherwise. What are you going to do with me? The boy muttered. He looked just now barely 17. Are you going to hand me over? Now the man has got consciousness. So he asked the doctor, what next is your step? You have healed my wound. I am recovering. Now what next? Are you going to hand me over? Meaning, are you going to hand me over to the Japanese army or the police? For a moment, Sadao did not answer. He finished his examination and pulled the silk quilt over the man. He just covered him and he did not answer first. But he said, I do not know myself what I shall do with you. I ought, of course, to give you to the police. You are a prisoner of war. No, do not tell me anything. He put up his hand as he saw the young man was about to speak. He told this American enemy, he told the wounded soldier, yes, he would hand him over to the police. He has to hand him over to the police because he is a prisoner of war. So in this way, he had made it very clear to the wounded soldier what his fate is. What is the next action for him? The wounded soldier wanted to say him something, but just silenced him. Do not even tell me your name unless I ask it. He said, no, I don't want your introduction. I don't want to know your name. I don't want to know anything about you. Because simply he knows that he is an American enemy. They looked at each other for a moment, and then the young man closed his eyes and turned his face to the wall. Okay, he whispered, his mouth a bitter line. His mouth a bitter line. Whose mouth is it talking? This is Dr. Sadao's mouth a bitter line. Because there was bitterness in his tone when he said, do not even tell me your name unless I ask it. So the wounded soldier, he was hurt by this bitterness. So he turned his face and he simply said, okay. Hana was waiting outside for Sadao. He saw at once that she was in trouble. She had some problem. Sadao, Yumi tells me, the servants feel they cannot stay if we hide this man here anymore. So what is the problem with Hana? The servants. They have refused to turn to the house. They have refused to help her in household because according to them, they are helping an American enemy. Clear? Yes, read from here. Sadao, Yumi tells me the servants feel.
The servants feel they cannot stay if we hide this man here anymore. She said, she tells me that they are saying that you and I were so long in.
Yes. Yes. Carry on, please.
America, that we have forgotten to think of our own country. First, they think we like Americans. It is not true, Sadao said harshly. Americans are our enemies, but I have been trained not to let a man die if I can help it. The servants cannot understand that, she said anxiously. No, he agreed. Neither seemed able to say more, and somehow the household dragged on. The servants grew more watchful, their courtesy was as careful as ever, but their eyes were cold upon the pair to whom they were hired.
Yes. Now, what it is that Hana has made it very clear and shared with Dr. Sadao that the servants they had refused to work, they had refused to help. Why? Because servants were suspecting that the couple had a soft corner for this American enemy because they themselves had lived in America for long. Right. So they have this suspicion that perhaps the couple, Dr. Sadao and Hana, they liked Americans. Sadao, of course, does not agree with that. He says, no, they don't know that we know that Americans are their enemies. But these servants, they are forgetting that Americans are enemy, but the servants are forgetting that Dr. Sadao is a doctor. And he has got this training that he should not allow any man to die. He has to help any person on the earth, whether an enemy or any other national. He has to help him. But the servants do not agree. Now, both of them, the husband and the wife, they could not say anything, but they had to do all their household work themselves. The servants were around, but they were very careful, very alert. They had been observing the couple, their activities, and they had no sympathy, they had no regard for this couple whom they had hired for their own help. Right? Yes, carry on.
It is clear what our master ought to do, the old gardener said one morning. He had worked with flowers all his life and had been a specialist too. In moss, for Sadao's father, he had made one of the finest moss gardens in Japan, sweeping the bright green carpet constantly so that not a leaf or a pine needle marred the velvet of its surface. My old master's son knows very well what he ought to do, he now said, pinching a bud from a bush as he spoke. When the man was so near death, why did he not let him bleed?
Yes, this is the gardener. This is the gardener whose father had also been working here when Dr. Sadao's father was there. So he is being hired by the family for a long time. He had been looking after their garden very well. So he also has a complaint. He says, my old master's son knows very well what he ought to do. Meaning Dr. Sadao should know what he has to do. He says, when the man was so near death, why did he not let him bleed? Why did he give him treatment? Why did he heal him? His complaint is that if he was bleeding, if he was dying, he was an American enemy. Dr. Sadao should have allowed him to die. He should not have been sympathetic or humanitarian towards him, and he should not have given him treatment. Now, these servants, they are uneducated, right? And orthodox kind of people, they do not know that a doctor has a duty also. They do not understand that Dr. Sadao was not being sympathetic, but he was doing his duty, right? Yes, next.
That young master is so proud of his skill to save life that he saves any life, the cook said. Con-
Contemptuously.
she split a fowl's neck skillfully and held the fluttering bird and let its blood flow into the roots of a wisteria vine. Blood is the best of fertilizers, and the old gardener would not let her waste a drop of it.
Yeah, in another way, just adding to what the gardener said, cook is also complaining. Cook is also complaining, though though she knows that the young master is so proud of his skill to save the life. He is a skilled surgeon who is so expert that he always conducts the surgeries to save life. He would save any life. So has he saved this life. But their complaint is that this life does not deserve to be saved because he is an enemy. Yes,
It is the children of whom we must think, Yumi said sadly. What will be their fate if their father is condemned as a traitor?
yes, Yumi has a serious concern. Yumi is thinking of their children because Yumi is still looking after their children. So she is very much close to them. She says, just think of their children when their children come to know once that their father has been condemned, has been punished, has been accused as a traitor. She was afraid that tomorrow, when the world comes to know that Dr. Sadao is giving treatment and is giving shelter to an enemy, then he would be accused as a traitor. And what impact it would have on the children. Yes.
They did not try to hide what they said from the ears of Hannah, as they stood arranging the day's flowers in her veranda nearby, and she knew they spoke on purpose that she might hear. That
Yes, when they were discussing all this, they had been loud enough. Why? Because they knew that Hannah was very much standing there. So they did not try to hide what they said from the ears of Hannah, meaning they were deliberately loud so that Hannah could hear clearly what they were talking about. And Hannah also understood why they were loud. She could also understand their purpose. Yes.
that they were right, she knew too in most of her being. But there was another part of her which she herself could not understand. It was not sentimental liking of the prisoner. She had come to think of him as a prisoner. She had not liked him even yesterday when he had said in his impulsive way, "Anyway, let me tell you that my name is Tom." She had only bored her little distant bow. She saw hurt in his eyes, but she did not wish to assuage it.
Assuage it.
He was a great trouble in this house.
Yes. So here what it is that she is expressing her own thought. When did she like him? When did she respect him? She also thought of him only as a prisoner, only as an enemy. She did not like even when the man was about to tell his name because she did not want to give any acknowledgement to the man. But it was difficult, very difficult to make these servants understand this. They had their own reasons, and this is what she agreed that yes, they were right. Yes, they were right. When the man was trying to tell his name, she just kept herself, she just nodded her head, right? That time also the man felt hurt. Why? The man felt hurt. He was not being given consideration, that the lady is not ready to listen to his name. She saw hurt in his eyes, but she did not wish to assuage it. She had seen that his eyes were hurt. There was hurt in his eyes. She could see that he was hurt. He was feeling bad, but she did not wish to assuage it. She never wanted him to get relieved of it because the man was a trouble. Because of him, there was trouble. There was fear in the house. Yes, carry on.
As for Sadao, every day
Yes.
he examined the wound carefully. The last stitches had been pulled out this morning, and the young man would in a fortnight be nearly as well as ever. Sadao went back to his office and carefully typed a letter to the chief of police reporting the whole matter. On the 21st day of February, an escaped prisoner was washed up on the shore in front of my house. So far, he typed, and then he opened a secret drawer of his desk and put the unfinished report into it.
Yes, now finally what he did, when he would keep on examining him, he was quite satisfied with his recovery. So he thought of writing a letter to the chief of police. He wanted to report the whole matter because he never wanted anything to be hidden, since he never wanted to land up himself or the family into any trouble. So he had not completed the report and he had just kept that unfinished report. Now let us see whether he finishes the report, whether he posts the report or not. Yes. Yes. On the seventh day.
On the seventh day after that, two things happened in the morning. The servant left together, their belongings tied in large square cotton kerchiefs. When Hannah got up in the morning, nothing was done, the house not clean, and the food not prepared. And she knew what it meant. She was dismayed and even terrified, but her pride as a mistress would not allow her to show it. Instead, she inclined her head gracefully when they appeared before her in the kitchen, and she paid them off and thanked them for all that they had done for her. They were crying, but she did not cry. The cook and the gardener had served Sada since he was a little boy in his father's house, and Yumi cried because of the children. She was so grieving that after she had gone, she ran back to Hana. If the
Yes.
baby
So what it is, the servants, they had been leaving. They had refused to work. Now they had been leaving. They were getting emotional because since long they had been working there. Hana was also terrified, but Hana would not express her emotions. Yes.
if the baby misses me too much tonight, send for me. I am going to my own house, and you know where it is. Thank you, Hana, smiling, but she told herself she would not send for Yumi. However, the baby cried. She made the breakfast, and Sadao helped me with the children. Neither of them spoke of the servants beyond, beyond the fact that they were gone. But after Hana had taken morning food to the prisoner, she came back to Sadao. Why is it we cannot see clearly what we ought to do? She asked him. Even the servants see more clearly than we do. Why are we different from other Japanese? Sadao did
Yes,
not.
after the servants had left, now she turns to Sadao and she reminds Dr. Sadao that they had to, this is the time, high time now, when they had to decide about an action, that something had to be done. The man has recovered, he was recovering fast. Now they have to do something. They have to do something to get rid of this man. So this is what she said, that why is it so that the servants could understand clearly what they should do, but they could not think of it. So why is there the difference? Why are we different from other Japanese? Every Japanese thinks that they should get rid of this enemy because he is an American enemy. Why they are delaying? Why they are not able to take the decision? The reason is that Dr. Sadao is not an ordinary Japanese. He is a Japanese, but a doctor also. With this, try to understand, Manish, that a doctor is not bound by a nationality. Doctor has no restrictions of religion or community or race or nationality. See, many a times you must have seen, or there are the stories you might have read in the newspaper. A doctor traveling by air and there is an emergency with a passenger in the airplane. And there it is announced by the air hostess or the pilots or the crew members in the aeroplane, if any doctor. And if the doctor is there, any other passenger who is a doctor there, whatever his nationality or religion or race or community is there, he comes to help. So this is the reason. This is how Dr. Sadao is different from other Japanese. You can get a question. Do you think that Dr. Sadao is different from other Japanese? Yes. How? He is a doctor, and a doctor is not bound by any nationality. Right? Yes. Sadao did not answer, but a little later, he went into the room where the prisoner was and said briskly, quickly, Today you may get up on your feet. I want you to stay up only 5 minutes at a time. He advises him to start walking now, but just for 5 minutes at a time. Tomorrow you may try it twice as long. It would be well that you get back your strength as quickly as possible. Till then, he was not allowed to move. Now the doctor wanted him to move, to get up and walk after short intervals. This is how he would regain his vigor, his strength, and he would be all right. Yes, carry on.
He saw the flicker of terror on the young face that was still very pale. Okay, the boy murmured. Evidently, he was determined to say more. I feel I ought to thank you, doctor, for having saved my life. Don't thank me too early, Sadao said coldly. He saw the flicker of terror again in the boy's eyes, terror as unmistakable as an animal's. The scars on his neck were crimson for a moment. Those scars were what were they? Sadao did not ask.
Yes. Now, what it is that he had told the man to get up and start walking, but he could see that the man, however, he was recovering, but he was terrified. There was fear. Why fear? Because as long as he was wounded, he was unconscious, he was in the custody of the doctor, he was safe. Now he knew what is going to happen to him. Now he knows his fate, that he would definitely be handed over to the Japanese army or the police. And once he is handed over to them, nobody knows what will happen to him. Maybe they would kill him. Maybe he would be given death sentence. Maybe he would be given severe punishment. So the boy simply murmured, okay, because he had no other option. He had to accept this fate. He wanted to say something else, but he could not. He could simply express his gratitude to the doctor for saving his life. Sadao said, don't thank me too early. He saw the flicker of terror again in the boy's eyes, terror as unmistakable as an animal's. He was as terrified as an animal. कभी आपने कभी कोई slaughter house देखा है? Where the animals, they are butchered, like chickens or goats are butchered. Have you ever seen?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So before they are butchered, if you ever look at those animals and birds very carefully, they get this intuition that they are going to be butchered, and they appear to be very scared, very feared. So the same kind of fear he could see, the same kind of terror he could see in his eyes, because he knows that the next action, next fate of his would be death at the hands of Japanese army or Japanese police. There were some scars, some marks on his neck. They were red. Sadao had noticed, but he did not ask because he was not very keen. Because he knew that he was an American enemy. So he never wanted to take too much interest in that. Yes, next.
In the afternoon,
Yes. Yes.
in the afternoon, the second thing happened. Hana working hard on unaccused
unaccustomed
Unaccustomed labor saw a messenger come to the door in official uniform. Her hands went weak and she could not draw her breath. The servant must have told already. She ran to Sadao, gasping, unable to utter a word, but by then the messenger had simply followed her through the garden, and there he stood. She pointed at him helplessly.
Yes, carry on.
Sadao looked up from his book. He was in his office, and the other partition of which was thrown open to the garden for the southern sunshine. What is this? What is it? He asked the messenger, and then he rose, seeing the man's uniform. You are to come to the palace, the man said. The old general is in pain again. Oh, Hannah breathed. Is that all? All, the messenger exclaimed. It is not enough. Indeed, it is. She replied, I am very sorry. Then,
Yes. Now here, what you see that the same day, the writers, two things happened. What was the first thing? That all the servants, they had gone, right? Now the second thing was that there was a messenger from the old general. When the messenger comes in his official uniform, Hannah is perplexed to see this. She was afraid that perhaps the servants, they had complained, they had reported, and now the general had sent, or the police had sent for Dr. Sadao, and Dr. Sadao would be arrested. But when the messenger gives this message that the old general is in pain, so Dr. Sadao had to report in the palace, then Hannah gets relieved. She says, oh, is that all? Is that all? Meaning this is the only message? All? The messenger exclaimed, because she thought that there might be the arrest warrant for Dr. Sadao, as the servants might have reported. But no, it wasn't so. You remember that doctor had not been allowed to go with the troops in the war because they knew that old general was not in good health and he might need the doctor's help anytime. So the message was sent for Dr. Sadao to be present in the palace. Yes, when Sadao came to say goodbye, she was in the kitchen, but doing nothing. The children were asleep and she sat merely resting for a moment, more exhausted from her fright than from work. She was tired. She was not tired because of the work. She was tired because of anxiety, because of the fear of Dr. Sadao to be arrested. Yeah, I thought they had come to arrest you. He gazed down into her anxious eyes. I must get rid of the man for your sake, he said in distress. Somehow I must get rid of him. Hannah expresses that she thought they have come to arrest him, but then Dr. Sadao promises that no, he has to do something to get rid of the man. Right? Now, Dr. Sadao has been called to the general. Here, Dr. Sadao goes to see the general. Right? Now, what happens? Does he tell the general everything about the man or not? Let's see. Yes, carry on, please.
of course, the general said weakly, I understand fully, but that is because I once took a degree in Princeton. So few Japanese have. I care nothing for the man, Excellency, Sadao said, but having operated on him with such success. Yes, yes, the general said, it is only makes me feel you more indispensable to me. Evidently, you can save anyone. You are so skilled, you say you think I can stand one more such attack as I have today. Not more than one, Sadao said.
Yes, wait here. Now, what here it is, now it is very clearly suggesting that Dr. Sadao had briefed to the general about the presence of American enemy and how he had given treatment to him. When he says, I care nothing for the man, Excellency, but having operated on him with such success, right? That means that general has come to know that Dr. Sadao had helped an American enemy to heal his wound. Right? General said weakly, of course, I understand fully. He says, yes, I agree with you. I understand. That is because I once took a degree. Being an American, that you studied in America, you know American. He said that he also studied in America in Princeton University. And at that time, very few Japanese were also studying in America. So he knows Americans. I care nothing for the man, Excellency. Sadao said that I am not concerned about the man. But having operated on him with such success, he had not yet completed his speech. He said, but I have done a surgery on him successfully. He had not yet completed, and the general interrupted him. Yes, yes, it only makes me feel you more indispensable to me. He interrupts, praising Dr. Sadao. He says, yes, I know. You have done the surgery successfully. You are a skilled surgeon. You are indispensable to me, meaning I am relying upon you for my surgery. Evidently, you can save anyone. You are so skilled. He said, the world knows. You are such a skilled doctor. You are such a skilled surgeon that you can save anyone. You say you think I can stand one more such attack as I have had today? Then he inquires from Dr. Sadao that he had an attack in the morning. If he had another attack, can he survive? And Dr. Sadao said, not more than one. He says, no. If you get more than one attack, then it is difficult to survive. Now, yes.
Then certainly I can allow nothing to happen to you, the general said with anxiety. His long pale Japanese face became expressionless, which meant that he was in deep thought. You cannot be arrested, the general said, closing his eyes. Suppose you were condemned to death and the next day I had to have my operation. There are other surgeons, Excellency. Sadao suggested, none I trust.
Yes, just when he said that you can have another, if you have another attack, you cannot survive, right? Instantly, General gives his decision that he had helped an American enemy, but he would not be arrested for that. Now, here, General, it is very clearly suggesting General is very selfish. He says, I cannot arrest you. I cannot give the orders for your arrest. Because if you are arrested and I get another attack, then what will happen? Who will save me? Who will give me the treatment? Who will conduct my operation? So just forget it. You are exempted from that arrest. Nobody can harm you, right? Because if you are arrested or if you are given death punishment, then no one can save me. Still, Dr. Sadao, being very modest, he says, there are other surgeons also. But the general said, none I trust. No, I don't trust other surgeons. The best ones have been trained by Germans and would consider the operation successful even if I died. He said that even the best surgeons in the country, they have been trained by Germans, meaning they have the nature of German surgeons. Now, what is this nature of German surgeons? The Germans, they have a harsh nature. But Americans, they have an emotional nature. So he says that the Germans, even if he died during operation, they would consider the operation successful. But the Americans, they would not do so. And they would rather try to save him during operation. I do not care for their point of view. He does not agree with the Germans. He said, it seems a pity that we cannot better combine the German ruthlessness with the American sentimentality. He says, you see, I agree with you that we cannot combine, the good surgeons will not combine the harshness of the German, the harsh nature of German, and an emotional nature of American. Then you could turn your prisoner over to execution, and yet I could be sure you would not murder me while I was unconscious. He said that you see that you did give the treatment to your American enemy. After giving treatment, you will hand him over to execution, meaning you will hand him over to the Japanese army. That's what I think, that if I need an operation, a surgery, you would not murder me when I am unconscious, meaning you will do my operation successfully, right? Because you studied in America and you will follow the American line while conducting surgery. Is that clear? This is very important. Right, Manish?
Yes, ma'am.
The general laughed. He had an unusual sense of humor. He was light-hearted. As a Japanese, could you not combine these two foreign elements? He asked. When he asked, meaning he is actually inferring, he states that as a Japanese, you cannot combine the two elements because you have studied in America, you are following American line. So that smile, I'm not quite sure, but for your sake, I would be willing to try, Excellency. He said, I would try, I am ready to try, I would try my best to help you during your operation. Then the general shook his head. I had rather not be the test case. He says, no, no experiment to be done on me. I don't want that any trial to be done on me. And then all of a sudden, he felt weak and overwhelmed with the cares of his life as an official in times such as these when repeated victory brought great responsibilities. Then soon he became weak, he became tired and overwhelmed, he became emotional and anxious when he remembered the cares of his life, the challenges that he had faced in his life as an official, and how so many responsibilities he had fulfilled, how so many wars he had won, how he had been victorious, he had brought victory to Japan. And then as a general, he remembered his responsibilities all over the South Pacific. It is very unfortunate that this man should have washed up on your doorstep, he said irritably. And then he thinks of that American soldier. He says that this soldier, he had rushed to your house, outside your house, in a wounded condition. It's really unfortunate. But he gets irritated at the thought of this American soldier, because ultimately he is also a Japanese. So this shows that the Japanese, they would not like Americans because they consider them American enemies, right? I feel it so myself, Sadao said gently. It would be best if he could be quietly killed, the general said. Anyway, you read this, I'll sum it up. Yes.
I feel it so myself, Sadao said gently. It would be best if he could be quietly killed, the general said, not by you, but by someone who does not know him. I have my own private assassins. Suppose I send two of them to your house tonight, or better, any night. uh, You need know nothing about it. It is now warm, but would be more natural than that you should leave the outer partition of the white man's room open up to the garden while he sleeps.
Yes. Now you know that what it is. He tells him that, okay, he could understand that Dr. Sadao wanted to get rid of this man. He said, okay, he gives him suggestion, he offers him. He says that the best is that this American soldier be killed. Let us kill him. And he says that you will not kill, Dr. Sadao, you will not kill. Then who is going to kill? He says that someone who does not know him, who is not familiar with him, or I have my own private assassins. Private assassins are the professional killers who are being hired by the rulers. So he says that he has his own professional killers, right? So I would give this job to them. They would go to your house tonight or any other night and they would kill him. and it is now warm. He gives him suggestion that the weather is warm these days. So it would be very natural if the front door of this man's room, which is opening to the garden, let it be opened. Why? It would be an easy passage for the private assassins to enter his room and kill him. Right? And Sada also agrees, definitely it would be very natural. And then he says, yes, this door is open every night. Good, the general said, yawning. He doesn't show much interest. Then he says, they are very capable assassins. They make no noise. They know the trick of inward bleeding. If you like, I can have them remove the body. He said, these professional killers, they are very expert. They would kill him in such a way that there would be no mark on the body. There would be no bleeding. There would be no blood stains. And if you want, they can also remove his dead body from there. Sadao liked it. He said it would be the best. He left the general's house, general's palace. He went home, but he did not share this plan with Hana. Why? Because he thought that the idea of these private assassins that would scare Hana. So he did not discuss with Hana. Right? But he could think of it that, oh, now he understood that yes, the rulers, they often hire these professional killers because sometimes they needed them to silence their opponents. Right? Okay. Now he had thought that he would not think of anything. He just went to his room where the American was in his bed. He opened the door. The next day, he saw the man who was there. He found the young man out of bed and preparing to go into the garden. He asked him, what is it? How can he move out without one's permission? And the man said that he did not need anyone's permission. And then he had some problem which he shared with him. He felt that his muscles on the side, they were stiff and rigid. And Dr. Sadao, he checked. He forgot everything. He says, now I thought I had provided against that. He said, anyway, I had provided against that, meaning I told you not to move. He lifted the edge of the man's shirt and he checked his wound. He said, yes, it is needed a little bit massage. Exercise will not help. And the man said, it won't bother me much, the young man said. His young face was gaunt under the stubbly blonde beard. It was gaunt, it was fair. Say, doctor, I have got something I want to say to you. If I hadn't met a Jap like you, well, I wouldn't be alive today, I know that. Again, he expresses his gratitude and he says, if he had not found a Jap meaning Japanese, right? Perhaps he would not have survived. Yes, Manish, shall we continue? Or we should conclude tomorrow?
Ma'am, you say.
Huh?
Ma'am, I am ready to continue.
Continue? Okay, fine. Just a minute. Let me turn the light on then. Okay. It was page number. Yeah, just a minute. Yes. So it won't take much time now, right? So he said that he would not have survived if he had not come across a Japanese like Dr. Sadao. Dr. Sadao did not say anything, right? And then he said, sure, I know that. And he said, if all the Japs were like you, there wouldn't have been a war. Now try to understand this particular statement. An American enemy, he said, if all the Japs were like you, there wouldn't have been a war. He was a soldier, he was an enemy, but this statement suggests that no soldier actually wants war. Everyone wants peace. He said if all the Japanese were like him, there wouldn't have been wars, meaning he has come in the war, he has been sent by his country, but he wants peace. And this is the very fact, Manish. This is very true. These are the political reasons that compel the countries to war with each other. But the two armies that are fighting against each other, ask each and every soldier, they would tell you they don't want war. They want harmony, they want peace. So it's a clear message that the countries should stop warring with each other. Sadao, with difficulty, said, perhaps, and now I think you had better go back to bed. Anyway, he is not much interested in talking to him. He advises him to go to bed, and he helped him. Sadao slept badly that night. That night, he slept badly. He had a restless night. Why he had restless night? Because General had told him that he would send his professional killers to kill the American enemy. So the whole night he had been thinking. A little movement, a little sound, he would hear. He would get conscious, he would get alert. He would think that perhaps those private assassins are there to kill the American soldier. He heard the rustling of footsteps. Even if there was no such sound, but he would feel as if there was the sound. There are the men. General has sent his men to kill the soldier. The next morning, he would go first into his room, and what he found, that he was very much there. He thought if the American was not there, then only he would tell Hana. Hana doesn't know all this thing. But when he opened the door, what he found, that he was very much there. He was sleeping. He closed the door. He told Anna he is alive. He is asleep. He is almost well to sleep like that. Hana whispered, what shall we do with him? Hana reminds, what next? Sadao said, it will take a day or two when they get rid of him. The second night again, he was expecting that private assassins would come and they would kill him. Again, he heard the sound. In fact, at one sound, Hana also woke up. She also felt as if there was some movement outside. They should go and check. But no, she would not allow Dr. Sadao also. And she, in fact, thinks that the man's partition should be closed. Sadao said no, he can do it himself, because Dr. Sadao was thinking maybe a private assassin. So Hana should not go and find out. Now, next morning, again, he went to his room. What he found, that the man was still there. Then the third night again, the third night also, the wind changed. The wind was blowing. It was raining. Sound of dripping eaves. Sound of dripping eaves meaning the ceiling of the house, ceiling of the room, that was leaking. There was water flowing in the garden. And Sadao slept better, but he heard a crashing sound and he got up. What was that? Hana cried. The baby woke at her voice and began to wail. I must go and see. Anyway, next day again, when he saw what he found, that the man was still there. His terror infected her. She stood breathless. Together they crept back into the bed, the baby between them. Yet when he opened the door of the guest room in the morning, there was the young man. He was happy. He was looking better. He was clean shaven now. And now he could walk. He had shaved himself. And very happily he said, I am well now. Sadao drew his kimono around his weary body. Sadao was tired. He put on his kimono around himself and he just decided suddenly to get through another night. It was not that he cared for this young man's life. No, simply it was not worth the strain. You're well, Sadao agreed. He lowered his voice. You are so well that I think if I put my boat on the shore tonight with food and extra clothing in it, you might be able to row to that little island not far from the coast. Now, this is very important, Manish. He had been waiting and waiting for generals, private assassins. They did not turn up. Now he did not want to wait. So what he told finally the American enemy, he said that now he has recovered. Now he can manage on his own. He would help him by providing him with all the things required for his escape. And he can escape successfully. He said that he is going to provide him with food, with boat, which would be stocked with the food and extra clothing which he might need. And he would just row the boat from here to an island across. That island is near to the coast, which is unguarded, which is uninhabited. The people do not live there. There are no guards looking after the coast. Nobody lives there. And this is not the time for the storm also. He could live there, and if he finds a Korean fishing boat, then he can just pass quite near the island because the water is very deep there. The young man stared at him, slowly comprehended, do I have to? The young man, the American enemy, he could understand the intentions, the idea of Dr. Sadao. He said, do I have to? Meaning, should I have to escape? Meaning, I'm not going to be handed over to the Japanese army? I think so, Sadao said gently. You understand? It is not hidden that you are here. He says, yes. You must leave now. He means to say that the American enemy must leave now because the world knew by now that he was there in his house, which is not favorable for the enemy, for the American soldier. The young man agreed, right? The next evening, Sadao did not see him, but as it was dark, he made arrangement. He dragged a stout boat, a strong boat, to the shore, and he put food, bottled water, clothing. Everything was done secretly during the daytime. 2 quilts were also put up there, which he bought from a pawn shop. Pawn shop meaning a store. And the boat was tied to a post in the water because the tide was high, right? It was dark night. He worked without a flashlight, meaning without a torch. When he came to the house, he entered, right? And now, when the American soldier was going, then he gave him all instructions. What instructions? First, he had checked him, examined him. He checked his temperature. He examined his wound. He checked his pulse rate. When there was a scar on his neck that was red. When he was sure, then only he realized that he should go now. And the American soldier, he told Sadao, I realize you are saving my life again. He said that you are saving my life again. Why again? First time you saved my life when you found me on the shore and you healed my wound. Now you are saving my life again when you are helping me to escape. So do remember there can be a question. How did he save his life twice? Sadao says, it's only inconvenient to have you here any longer. That shows Sadao's modesty. He is so modest. He says, no, I am not saving you. I am just keeping you away because it's not convenient to keep you for long. He wanted to give him a torch, but he was a little bit reluctant because he was afraid that if he had lighted it at night, then he would be spotted, he would be caught. But anyway, he gives him the flashlight with some instructions, right? Now he tells him that you go, and if you are short of food when you catch a boat, then you give 2 flashes. Instant, the sun drops over the horizon. But at what time? At the dusk time, when the sun is setting. Why? Because in the darkness, if he flashes his light, his torch, then he would be spotted. And he says, if you are all right, but still there, then you just give me signal once. He also tells him that he will get fresh fish there to eat, but he should eat raw. He should not cook on fire, as fire would be spotted and he would be caught. With all these instructions, he sends him off, and he was dressed in Japanese clothes so that he could not be identified. The young American, he left. He left. Sadao saw his light flash to find his way, but that is not the cause of his suspicion, right? Now what it is, he goes to the general. General knows that the man has gone. He tells the general, you say the man escaped? The general asked faintly. And general remembers then, general was in trouble. His gallbladder was not working. So a message had been sent to Dr. Sadao. Dr. Sadao immediately went there. He conducted a surgery on him. And then general remembered that he had to send his private assassins to him. He was apologetic for that. I'm sorry, I forgot. I had been so careless. But Dr. Sadao did not say anything. He said, no matters, it happens. It happens. And now what it is, he told general that your excellency, he escaped. He coughed, signifying that he had not said all he might have said, but was unwilling to disturb the general. The old man opened his eyes. He said, the prisoner, did I not promise you I would kill him for you? He remembered his promise. You did, excellency. He said, I was suffering a good deal. The truth is, I thought of nothing but myself. In short, I forgot my promise to you. Anyway, Sadao has done his job. General accepted that he was careless. General also told him, you understand, it was not lack of patriotism or dereliction of duty. If the matter should come out, you would understand that, wouldn't you? He said, no, I forgot, I was careless, but it was not so that I did not love my country or I did not remember my duty. But it was all because of my poor health that I could not remember. Right? But then he ensured Dr. Sadao that there would be no complaint against him. He knows that he was very loyal. In fact, he would be rewarded for his loyalty. Dr. Sadao thinks that he has already been rewarded for his loyalty as he had got rid of the man. Sadao, searching the spot of black in the twilighted sea that night, had his reward. There was no prick of light in the dusk. That means the man had escaped successfully. No one was on the island. His prisoner was gone, safe, doubtless, for he had warned him to wait only for a Korean fishing boat. He must be waiting for the Korean fishing boat, which he would have got. Now he went back to his home, and there in the house, there was again happiness, an air of joy, happiness. The servants are back, right? They both remembered, in particular, Dr. Sadao. He remembered that when they were in America, how they had also faced racism, prejudice. He remembered his old teacher. Here, you please, in this paragraph, you will read, it has been talked about the same. But he had not retaliated, he had not taken revenge. He, as a doctor, has done his duty. He had not healed an American enemy, but he had healed the wounds of a soldier. This is what he thought, right? That's the end of the chapter. If any problem, you can ask me. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
I have already underlined the statements, highlighted the statements. So you must read those very statements, right? Okay, all the best.
Thank you.
Okay, you can leave now.